Okay, so I'm going to make a short video talking about Veldin 2 and Fleet, because I've been watching some newer runners do stuff with it, namely like Lassoboy and Todio, and they both just make me sad. I have a full analysis of Todio's PB coming out, but Sony Vegas is shitting on me at the moment, so I'm trying to get that sorted, but until then I just want to upload this video making some really short notes on some of the bigger mistakes that are in these last two planets, because they are quite glaring and stuff that's very, very easily improvable. Two things that are really important going into Fleet are knowing what you obviously knowing what your bolts are and knowing what your bombs are. You want to be going into Fleet with about 15 bombs. I can deal with 10 to 15, but you want to be more on the 15 side really to account for mistakes and stuff. And another thing that I'm seeing both of these guys doing is collecting way too many bolts. You don't need any more than 2,000 by the time you leave Fleet. If you have 2,000 at any point on Fleet, stop collecting bolts. You don't need any more. You can work with 1,900, but 2,000 is more safe. You get those bolts on Veldin 2 to buy the Pyro, and you really don't need to waste time collecting bolts. Both of these guys leave with over the amount of bolts that they would need to buy the Pyro, and it's completely unnecessary. It loses loads of time, and it's just kind of sloppy. I'm going to go into and watch both of these runs from Fleet onwards, and just note down loads of stuff, because there is a lot of stuff to talk about here. So I'm just going to jump into Lassos right now. Oh, it's a bit fast. The movement at the start is fine. I'm also not going to touch on movement for the most part. I really just want to talk about like movement and like optimal bolt collecting. I just want to talk about some of the bigger mistakes that are being made here. The first thing Lasso does that I know Todio doesn't do is he doesn't kill this guy. The very first guy, he doesn't kill this guy, which is good. You shouldn't do that. If you need to evade him, you can just do... Hang on, let me find my PV.
This is it.
Okay. Notice, by the way, immediately how I'm not collecting these bolts, because they don't really give you that many. This stack is worth getting. You also notice how I stopped collecting bolts when I pass 2,000. So if this guy's in the way or he's going to shoot you, you can just time a double jump to get over it. Straight away afterwards, I'm doing the wall jump. This is easy with practice. Please do this. Both of you guys are killing this guy, which is, I guess, more safe. But once you get through this door, the guy behind you, if you're worried about him hitting you, he's not a problem at all. By the time he primes himself to shoot you, the door's already closed and he's out of the way. So please just do that wall jump. The only thing that you really need to worry about for it is if you're far enough to the left. If you're far enough to the left and you get the second wall jump, the hyper strike timing is very lenient. It's very easy, very worth it to do. It only saves like, you know, half a second of what you're doing, but it's still something that you can clean up very simply. Okay.
For the first few levels, you can just kind of cheese it.
The bolt collection is quite slow here. You really don't need to like spend this much time with it. A thing you can do is thrust through crates. I don't know if I do it in this video at any point, but it's faster to collect bolts that way. I actually left these because my bolts are pretty good already. But you see how like much more fluid that is? I mean, let's look at the way Lasso does that. Jumping around and getting every last bolt. You don't really need to do that, especially with how many bolts are on Fleet and Veldin, especially when you already have 1,700. I'm like leaving crates behind here with the same amount that Lasso's got. Okay, this guy, both of you throw a bomb immediately as soon as you get in the room. Do not do this. It will mess you up. If you hit him, there is a high probability, and it happens to Todio, so I'll go watch Todio's PB right now. It happens to Todio in his run. And I think he knows what he did wrong. No, this is the wrong one. Oh wait, no, it might be the right one. Yeah, it is. He throws the bomb straight away, and as soon as the guy hits the button, he just stands there, and he's not gonna run towards you like you want. He's further back, and I don't know why that affects it. Like he hits the button at like this angle instead of like this angle, and it just changes the way his AI works for some reason. I don't know why. Please hit him later on, almost exactly when he's about to hit the button for the first time. So I'll show that here. I'll show that off here. I wait. That was actually a little bit early. In fact, you can hear me talking about my PB if you go and watch it about how I thought that was slightly early, but I got it anyway. And the movement afterwards. Okay, so Lassie throws the bomb straight away. He misses it, which is pretty much the only reason his run doesn't die here, as far as I'm concerned. He runs around. Okay, actually, so he didn't move there, but the nice thing about that is that even though he didn't move, when you hit him from this angle, he gets knocked back. He comes in a slightly more of an acute angle, and it's just enough to be able to still be able to hit him with the bomb. So even if he doesn't run towards you, you can still just get him, which is why you want to wait that extra bit of time. Okay. So he's going to jump here, and he's going to go towards the teleport, which is a bad idea. The movement is to hit him, jump, thrust, and then immediately round the corner. If you get hit once, there's nanotech there for you, and the alarm goes away pretty much straight away. I actually got hit in my PB there, but that is pretty rare. That doesn't usually happen. I'm going to go to another run where that doesn't happen, because it is exceedingly rare that you would get hit twice if you do the correct movement. Oh, look at that. We're perfect. We're there already. It's almost like I planned this. Okay, so I do the same movement, double jump, ground pound cancel, round the corner, throw the crate, nanotech's there waiting for me if I get hit. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, so around the corner, nanotech's there for me if I need it, but I don't. Alarm goes off straight away. I can just carry on collecting bolts and get into the teleport. Another thing that I won't have in this run, because I don't have the swing shot that neither of you do, which is pretty easy. You see how Lassu's like having to be very careful now because he's on like 1 health. If he did that other strat, he wouldn't have to do that. And he doesn't, right, 2,000 bolts, he does not need these bolts anymore, or any other bolts on these planets, on this planet, but he's still going to keep collecting them. He buys the pyro at the end of fleet, which is slow for swing shot. The only reason I do it is because I do swing shotless, and there is a potential when I do the ILJ for me to be able to carry my momentum into swing shotless movement, which means I don't want to have to stop right before Drek and buy the pyro. If you're doing swing shot, there's no reason to buy the pyro on fleet or at any point before the start of the Drek fight. It's not faster, it's slow. I want to drill at home. I think Lassu, again, more bolt collection, don't need to do this. I think Lassu actually does go for the swing shot swag movement here, but kind of beefs it a little bit. If you don't know how to do it, it's really easy. Just practice it, just give it like 5 minutes. And the green targets are all easy to do with. Hold forward while you're swing shotting in. And then as you let go of circle, just hold neutral and then do some side flips. So, I'll see if I can demonstrate. Oh, you're right here. So I'm holding it right there. As soon as the swing shot target, as soon as the swing shot goes away, I'm holding neutral.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Loads of momentum. Single jumps, side flips, and I can just go straight to the end of that guy and hit him. Another thing that both of you do, I think, is I mean, Lassu gets this health there. I'm not worried too much about that because if you didn't have bad health, you wouldn't need to. Another thing both of you do is kill this guy. Completely unnecessary. If you do the correct movement, even if you don't get the swing shot swag, and if you do the correct movement through that room, that guy is, the out alarms in there are never going to be able to hit you because you're just going to move way too fast. Okay, let's have a look at what Todio's doing. Again, same thing. He's collecting bolts. He has 2,000 here, same as Lassu. Do not need any more bolts. Still collecting. Okay, so he's getting the health here. Oh, that's another thing I might not have talked about. There are no bomb drops on fleet at all in the route you take. So please manage your bombs sensibly when you are doing this split, because you have a limited number, and if you fuck up and run out of bombs, there are backups you can do with rent swings, and it is what Todio does in his PB, but it's very slow, and it's going to lose you a lot of time if you're not paying attention to how many bombs you have. That's why I say I like to have 15 going into it, because you don't need 15 to do everything you need to do, but it's nice to have some backup bombs if you make a mistake. Yeah, so he does the wrench backup here, which is fine for what he's doing, for not having any bombs, so I'm not going to talk about that. But the way Lassu does this is interesting. Okay, chain side flip towards the button. Easy. He's going to little long jump here. What he should have done is side flip straight away and then just bombed as he landed, and he would have hit the guy before he hit the button. He walks here, which is not only slow, but I think the guy... Oh, no. Okay, so that's the alarm from before. But he's going to hit the button now. And this wastes time. Okay. Another way to get the alarm quickly off here. Reminder, you do not need any more bolts in this room. So I think if he's waiting to collect bolts, that's bad. Yeah, so he's going to go collect these bolts over here. Again, unnecessary. The way you do this room quickly is by... so you kill the guy. And then thrust straight towards the teleport. Press triangle. The alarm goes away straight away as soon as you start teleporting. Very quick. Please do this. You don't need the bolts in this room. If you're a little bit under 2,000, there are some bolts in this room anyway that you can collect, which are going to save you time over doing it that way. Because getting through the alarm in that room is so quick, and there aren't that many bolts in here anyway. Yeah, don't buy the pyro here. It's slow. It means that you're just going to have to collect more bolts in fleets, and that's a lot slower than collecting the last 500 on Veldin. The last crate stank before the SI is very quick to collect those bolts, and they give you about 500, sometimes 600. So you really never have to worry about that. Okay, let's go into Veldin 2. The movement here is pretty awkward, I would say. I would drop before you do that thrust, and then you can carry it into a midair. You can thrust into a neutral or a midair by dropping first. Jump, I jump, thrust towards the thing, switch to the bank very sloppily, and then just midair, and it takes me a little bit further. And then I just do 2 long jumps, lands me on this crate straight away. I'm not editing this. I'm not editing this. I'm not editing. I land you on this crate straight away, and you can with one bomb you can destroy all those crates. Get the 500 you need, and then long jump starting the SI. I used to do a high jump. I don't blame you for doing it. If you try the long jump, you'll understand how easy it is. I'm also not going to talk about the SI very much, to be honest, because there is plenty of good material out there about V2SI. Yeah, so you're skipping the crates here. Very unnecessary. I don't know if you're doing the long jump. Yeah, you're doing the high jump. Not worth it, really. Okay, I'm gonna completely skip the SI because there is a video here by Sippy that's in the resources section. If you haven't seen it, you should have seen it if you were practicing Veldin 2 SI at some point. But if you haven't, go watch it. It is more in depth than I'm willing to go in this video, and it's very good. It's how I learnt it. The techniques he uses I still use today, with some slight variations, but generally it's a good video. So go watch that. It's in the resources section of the Drek Discord. So I'm going to skip through the SI because I'm not going to talk about it. Movement here. Try and do some more chains. So you wanted to do a midair there really to stop yourself getting stopped. And of course I'm going to tell you to do the ILJ. I know this is risky when you're on PB pace and you don't like doing it, but it is really pretty easy when you get it down. It might take a little bit of practice. I'm not saying doing it in run straight away, but I'm saying practice it, because at some point you're going to need that time save, and it is quite a bit of time save if you're doing over Ghost Ratchet strats or even the new SI. It's not that bad. I used to lose runs to it, and you probably will when you start doing it. You probably will start losing runs to it. But once you get it down, it's super easy. And you see I'm buying the pyro right here, even in my current swing shot PB, because it is faster. Okay. Oh yeah. Both of you buying ammo. If you need to buy ammo for Drek, that is a sign that you need to practice Drek. How much ammo do I have at the end of my run? It's probably at least 60. Yeah, so about 50. That's plenty. You do not need to buy backup ammo. If you do need to buy backup ammo, that is a sign that you need to practice Drek, and you both need to practice Drek quite a bit. First things first, you're holding onto these swing shots for way too long. You don't necessarily have to go onto swing shot swag, but you're like waiting until like right at the peak of the swing shot to do this. You don't really need to do that at all, and it's actually wasting probably more time than you think, because the more fluid movement, even without swing shot swag, is quite a bit faster. You see, even without swing shot swag, which I'm failing here, it's quite fluid. You're moving across this a lot quicker, and if you get swing shot swag on the last platform, you're up to him straight away to start dealing with phase 1. I know I meme about this a lot, about how you shouldn't switch to thruster because it's optimal to do helipack movement. it is optimal to do helipack movement, but you're both losing way more time to like suboptimal helipack movement. You can see you're chasing him around the arena. You're not really catching up to him at all until you get bomb RNG. If you have the thruster out, you can deal with all of that way easier. Yes, helipack movement is optimal, and you want to be catching up to him as he moves by like cutting the corners in front of him. So you can see he's moving here. What I'm going to do is take a line probably like this and try and cut into him as he moves rather than heading straight for him, which is what Lasso's sort of doing here. He's going towards Drek, not cutting the corner of his movement. He's all the time he's long jumping towards Drek's body, and he's never going to do that because he moves faster than you unless you can build up some chains. Right, let's get rid of this. I cut the corner away from him. He will turn away there because my angle was a little bit bad, but you can see the variation in the corner there pretty well. So if you can't do this, you both need to practice Drek anyway. So practice it with Heli if you want to stick that way. But don't be ashamed about switching to thruster because it makes it so much easier, and you're going to save buckets. You have a 42 here, closing out at 46. It should be mid to late 44 if you do the rest of this well. So you're losing like a minute and a half almost on the last two phases of Drek. Sort of indicated that you do need to practice Drek quite a bit. The one cycling is not 100% necessary. I don't have it in my current PB, although I want it in a current PB. But it does help. And yeah. So again, look at this. Just chasing, constantly chasing, and waiting for bombs to come out. Right there where he can punish. You really should be able to do this regardless of RNG. It's not easy, but it's something that really requires practice. You seem to be cutting corners a lot better here, even though you're not really catching up to him very quickly. I would always side flip to the right as you're doing this, because then you're going to carry on rounding the corner.
It's ready.
And one last thing I'll say, Lasso isn't doing it too much here, but I noticed Todio doing it, is staying around in the middle. He's always going to stay on the edge unless you get like bomb RNG, so don't do that. You see Lasso's doing it here, he's chasing him around the edge, which is a lot more optimal. And as he's moving up here, he's chasing right, it's just a little bit more fluid movement is what you need to work on really. I'm surprised he loses an extra minute here, this is strange. Oh, he's going to leave the arena, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, not much you can actually... Oh, he didn't leave the arena. Maybe you jumped the gun on that one. Anyway, there's not much more I can talk about here. It's just practice Drek over and over again until you're getting like 2-minute timers on the fight. From like here, it wants to be like 2 minutes. Todio is taking upwards of, well, what's that, 55, 45, 47. So it's taking up almost 3 minutes to do it. Lasso, what does he go in the fight at? 42, so he's taking almost over 4 minutes to do this. So you can cut that time in half if you just practice a little bit. So, Fleet Veldin 2, lots and lots to improve on here. Realistically, if you get these splits right, they shouldn't be taking you any longer than about a combined, I don't know, 7 minutes max. So really, from Quartu, we've got 35. Todio should have been closing out 42 here with his current skill level. Lasso should have been closing out at 43. So you two are losing 3 or 4 minutes each on the last section of the game, which just requires a little bit of practice, a little bit of just cleaning up. There's a lot of stuff to work on here.